Hey there, YouTubers. Digger coming at you with another little party bus update. But before that, we'll say some of you know that about 9 months ago I had a little bit of a physical issue that put me in the hospital for a minute, and you know, it really had messed me up bad. Honestly, it was a stroke, but it took its toll. But I feel like the doctors have me on the right road now and everything. Got me the right happy pills and everything. I feel like I'm myself again. So it's been a long time since I felt like this. So hopefully everything will stay good and everything like that. You know, obviously I need to quit that crap. But I'm on my drugs and everything's good to go. So with that said, I'll let you know that obviously this bus that I've been working on has been here way too long, because like I say, for the last 9 months ever since I had that little issue, I have not been able to go out there and do anything. Just physically, mentally, everything, I just couldn't do it. I feel like my body is pretty much back to normal, maybe 95%. Brain-wise, 85%, maybe 80, I don't know. Brain seems like it got a little bit affected through this. But, so I've been working back out here on the bus again, and here in a minute you're going to see in this video that, you know, what I've been doing in this over the last few weeks and everything, that you know, to try to get this bus taken care of. And you know, obviously the owner, he has been good with me about you know, knowing what was going on and everything, but by all rights, he would like to get his bus back, and I would really like to get it gone, because like I told him, the longer it sits here, that's the longer I'm not getting paid. So yeah, I want to get it done too. So we'll get out here in a minute and we'll show you what we've been doing out here. Alright everybody, so right here what I'm doing is I'm laying out pieces for my ceiling. And basically what I do, this is a little template that I made a long time ago. So I keep this around just to lay it down so I don't have to recalculate all the mathematics. Basically what it is though is I draw a center line down here, and then I offset 2 more lines 1.5 inches apart. So then you have 3 lines, 3 parallel lines running across your, what I'm using is Masonite brown board. So it's 3 inches wide here, and then down here it's a lot thinner. There would be a center line right in the middle, so it's 1.5 inches up and 1.5 inches down, gives you the center line of the arc. And then you just measure off, you know, like 2 feet between your, you know, whatever your centers are going to be. Sorry about the cutting my head off in the thing there. But basically then you make a mark like every 2 feet, and every 2 feet will be, you'll put a plus sign right here on where those 2 lines intersect, and then, you know, 2 feet back you'll put another line where these 2 connect, and by the time you get done you basically just connect the dots. It's pretty simple. And you can see right there, maybe there's my center line that I had drawn on there, and then like I say, 1.5 inches up, 1.5 inches down, that gives you 3 inches total of your wave pattern. And then, like I say, usually, you know, 2 foot in between or whatever. But whatever it is, then you have a template that everything's going to match. And in order to get the second piece to line up with this, I'll go grab this real quick. But here's the thing you have to be careful of. Wherever you're going to make your section lines at, you got to make sure that your, I guess I'm going to call it a parabolic arc. You have to make sure that that lines up, because you don't want to cut these and have them mismatched and lined up like that. That's not going to do you any good. So these pieces were cut off of a 8-foot section, and you know, then I recut them at 4 foot each. And the only reason I did that, honestly, was because it's a lot easier for me to assemble it in the ceiling in 4 foot pieces than it is 8 foot when this brown board is so flimsy. You know, to hold up an 8 foot piece of this 1/8 inch brown board, it's gonna have such an arc that I wouldn't be able to line it up. So it's just a lot easier to do it in 4 foot sections. And then on these 4 foot sections, I put numbers on them, so that's a number 4. This is a number 4. I know that the 2 number 4s line up. And down at the other end, I've got a number 3, and then my other piece has a number 3 on it. That way, when you line them all up, everything's all good to go with that. So, sorry about the weird camera stuff, but I'm trying to look at it. I don't know. I got bifocals. So, it's hard to tell sometimes. But that's how I make the ceiling. You know, these are going to be the pieces on the outer sides above the windows. Those will be, you know, these will be on each side, and then I'll have a center section down the middle that probably will also have a little wavy pattern in it. I don't know yet. And under these, I'm going to tuck the color changing lights so that those shine out. And then down through the center, well, you'll have to wait and see. But Big Rob did stop by today. I showed him what I was doing. He liked where I was going with it, but get this. He doesn't want colors in the bus. He wants everything black. So everything's going black. So now we know what it's going to look like. I'm not saying I'm a big fan of all black, but you know, this isn't, you got to remember, this is not a rented out party bus. This is a bus made for personal use. So it's just a little bit different than what I'm used to. So I'm going to carry on with getting these things all figured out. Might do some measurements, go out in the bus and kind of figure out where I'm at. I know that 4 of these obviously is 16 foot, 4 4-foot sections. The bus is not quite as deep as 15 foot or 16 foot. So I will have to cut these down just a little bit, but you know, it allows me to shift everything to where I can put the parabolic arc, make it end wherever I want to, which is you'll see here in a little while that you just have to think this stuff out. It's not something you can just do really quick. You have to do a little bit of math. It's very simple, but you know, you do a little bit of math, do a little bit of layout time and everything, and then once you get jiggy with it, jigsaw, then you've got, you know, just follow the line and cut your pieces. Each one of these pieces, when I did the jagged cut, the parabolic arc, there was another piece, obviously on the other side of this, and wherever that ended up, that's what I made the other side out of. Sorry about whipping the camera all over the place. We'll let you guys see what the ceiling turns out like. Stop. All right, everybody. So here is my ceiling panels all cut and ready to put up. Obviously, I need to cut the length a little bit, you know, depending on where it's going to be inside the bus. So basically, you got these 2 pieces here. These are all cut in 4-foot sections, but these and these over here go down the sides of the bus, and then this one here is going to go right down the middle of the bus. So this is the way I figured it all out. By the way, if anybody wants templates of these, or wants me to make something like this for them, just contact me. I don't have a problem with, because I can take these, I can cut them in 4-foot sections and everything, and then ship them to you. It's not really any big deal. So that's where we're at for right now. Got it laid out here in the living room, and next step is to take it all out in the bus and start fitting it. So, all right, everybody. So I've came out and I've installed the pieces in the ceiling that I've been working on. To be honest, I started today with a 4x8 sheet of Masonite, and this is what I've got now. So this is a one-day thing. You could actually make these things and put them up in your bus in one day. Or you can have me make them, I don't care. But basically this center section up here is going to be covered. So don't worry about that, but for right now, that's what we've got. All the way back to the back wall. A little harder to see this part above the door, but you can see that I had to cut that out around the door. But basically, these panels then, I am going to try to drop these down a little bit because I want to put some color changing LED lights up in there. But this section here is actually going to be covered. I've got a 1/4-inch piece of plywood in the house that I'm going to cut up to put up in here, which then my secret sauce for the ceiling can be added to that before I completely mount it all up in there. But obviously we need to locate some speaker holes in those once I get those cut. And well, then all it comes down to then is covering the top boards. Maybe you heard me earlier, but he has decided he wants everything black. So everything that I've got up here in the front that currently is in red oxide primer, we're going to vinyl cover all that with black. All of this stuff over here, just like this, and even the green parts that I covered just to show him what was going on with coloring and everything. He's decided he wants those rewrapped in black. So everything's going to be black. He doesn't want any color in here at all other than black. I did talk him into putting a white banding around this, and we're going to go with a black Formica countertop on all that stuff. So that's where we're at for right now. But like I say, you too can make a ceiling in one day. All right, everybody. So the next step in the ceiling is to cut this piece that's going here. Now, if you notice, I've all my pieces that I had up here, I outlined those. And by doing that, then I can get a maximum width, which is probably going to be, well, I've already measured it out. It's 24 inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a 4x8 sheet of 1/4-inch plywood, basically. I forget what it is. It's really nice, smooth stuff. I'm going to cut those 4x8s into 2x8s, and then we'll mount those up in here. Once those are mounted, I can then do my secret sauce over top of them, and then which I'll probably actually do in the house. But then all of these pieces, they're all ready to be covered. So you know, once I cover those, and I've got the secret sauce up here in the middle, and I've got these ready, then that's pretty much it. I mean, I gotta cut the holes I gotta locate the holes and cut the holes for the 4 speakers, but other than that, it'll be a pretty simple operation. So I'm gonna get to it and you guys can see what's going on. All right, so this is my plywood for the ceiling. You can see I've got a line drawn right up through there at 24 inches. Once I cut those, get those cut down the middle, I've got another one over there that I'm gonna have to measure off, because remember, the ceiling in this bus is 13 feet. So 8 foot and then 13 foot. So we've got a 5 foot difference. So once I get these done, I will take that, I'll cut off a 3x5 section of it. Then what I'll have left is my 5 foot. Then I'll rip that down the middle, and that will be my third and fourth piece for the ceiling. So, all right, so I've got my ceiling pieces cut. You'll see that I label these with D for the driver's side and P for the passenger side. So what I've got here is I have two foot, well, these are all 2 feet wide, okay, 24 inches, but I have 2 4-footers and one that's a little over 5 feet. I purposely cut this one a little bit long because I don't know the specific measurements of the inside of the bus until this stuff is all up there. So that's what I've done. You can see that I put little check marks on the edges that are original, that hasn't been cut. That way I can line up a check mark with a check mark. Same way over here, little check mark there, little check mark there. That lets me know which ones have the straight edge and which ones have been cut. Another thing that I always do, I always put an arrow on pretty much everything I do, that the arrow always points to the front side of the bus. So if I have to take these down later on and put them back up, it's going to be obvious which way they go. Because they will also, once I get the secret sauce on this, I flip these over, on the other side, I will label them P1, P2, P3, and so on. So that's where we're at right now. I'm getting ready to go out in the bus, put these up, and then we can put the little curvy boards back in. All right, so now, like I say, we've got the 2 foot pieces all made for up here. I'm getting ready to mount those up here, but I do need to locate the speakers back in the back. And another thing that I did is, you guys probably won't be able to see it, but there is an imprint up here of the original 12 foot wide or 12 inch wide piece that went down the center. And what I did was I wanted a straight line from the front to the back of the bus. How do you do that? I just offset a line from that old mark over however far I wanted. So now you can see I've got a little mark here, and all the way down there's a little mark. What this is going to do, when I put that 24 inch wide piece, I will say I went ahead and cut those in half, so they're now 4 foot by 2 foot. And I had to do that because, like I say, I picked one up way too flimsy. There's no way I can hold an 8 foot piece up in here and accurately get it mounted where I wanted. And what I mean by that is these little marks up here, those are what I'm going to try to line those ceiling pieces up with. That way then, you can see I've got a little line there and another one back here. But what that's going to do is allow me to get front and rear as straight as possible, because in between each one of these sections that I'm putting up, they have to mate together. And I wanted the proper edges to line up with each other. That's just a little thing you got to think about. So I'm going to run in the house. I'm going to grab my first piece, which I'm going to start at the back. And I'll have to locate those speaker holes right off the bat. That's the very first thing, because I'm going to start at the back and work my way forward. So we'll let you see it in a minute. All right, everybody, so I've got these two. I did get my holes cut. I have these first two pieces already up. And basically what I have done is the second pieces, I've already started some screws, you know, get them on the center line and everything like that. That way I can hold it up there and shoot the screws to it. So here we go with that. Just got to put it up in here, put it edge to edge, push it up. I'm going to put one screw up in it. And then go back and double check this. Because these, you got to remember, you want these nice and flush. That way they don't show too much when we do the secret sauce on the ceiling. And notice I'm not running the screws all the way in. I don't want to bury those into the wood right yet, because when I cover this, I'm going to have to make sure that those don't have any little things sticking up. Like I say, if you really wanted to do this, you can do this in one day. Now, I'm not saying you're going to cover it and everything, but okay, there's that one. I'm not saying you're going to cover it in one day, but I don't know. Maybe you're that motivated. Shit. Okay, so now you can see what we've got going on. You can see that I've stayed pretty close to my marks. They are definitely parallel, or they're 90 degrees to the wall. They're flushed right up against the wall. So that's how we're going to do that. And now I just have to, now for the fun thing I get to do, I need to locate these two speakers up here and cut those into the 5-foot pieces, and then I need to cut them to length. And you can tell that I'm either going to go around this, sorry about the camera, I'm either going to go around this, or I might just remove it, put the boards in, and then put this back up on top of it. We don't know yet. So that's the first starts to the ceiling. Now I've got the last piece ready. I've put my notch in it, put my speaker hole in it. Let's see how this fits. Get the wires through the hole. And right here, what I'm concentrating on is keeping this with virtually no gap and keeping it even all the way across. Now I'll shoot a screw in it. Whoops. I goofed. There, we're good. Got that stuck up under there. Alright, so let me just take you up here and show you now. Alright, so I've got all this stuff taken care of, and like I say, we'll close the gap on that a little bit when it's time. But there, now we have all that stuff up. So now I can go back and put my curvy boards back in. That should only take me a few minutes, so let's make that happen. right, everybody, we've got the ceiling up and it's up there. Got our speaker holes. See, I had to notch that around that. You can say that, and I notched these around this because I've got that gray cover I'm gonna put back on that. So all in all, I think the ceiling's looking pretty good. Like I say, you can make a ceiling in one day. Like I say, you may not have it covered, but it is honestly not that complicated. I mean, anybody that can measure some stuff, make a straight line, you know, and run a Sawzall can do this. So I'm gonna go ahead and let my back rest, because working on everything above and pushing on that screwdriver puts a hurting on the lower back. So I'm gonna go in, sit down, relax a little bit, and maybe I'll start editing this video. So guess we will catch you guys on the flip side, and remember, the party starts here. We'll catch you later. Adios. Digger is out. I was just stepping outside the bus and figured I'd kind of show you guys what it looks like from looking in the door. Phone's ringing. Oh yeah, and remember I said I had to cut something here? Well, what I did, I'm going to hinge that like that. PlayStation 5 will sit right back there. And hey, YouTubers, don't forget to hit that little subscribe button and maybe even that little ding ding bell thing. That way you get updated and you know what's going on right after I do it. So tune in, there's more to come. The party starts here.